Hello and welcome to Scrapbook and Cards Today here on YouTube. I'm Mirisha. Thank you so much for joining me for another video tutorial. Today I'm sharing a card project that truly is simple, approachable, and something anyone can try. We'll be working with watercoloring using Distress Reinkers, layering die cuts for dimension, and adding subtle mixed media texture to bring everything together. This project is all about enjoying the process, no pressure, just creativity. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, I'm starting with this mixed media paper pad from scrapbook.com. I love using this paper when watercoloring because it holds up well to water and allows the color to move and blend beautifully without warping. For the florals, I'm using the Spring Greenery and Anemone die set from Honeybee Stamps. I've already die cut all of my flower and leaf pieces from the mixed media paper so they're ready to go. Now it's time for the fun part, watercoloring. For the flowers, I'm using Kitsch Flamingo and Wilted Violet Distress Reinkers, but you can feel free to use an ink pad or a watercolor palette if you'd like for this project. I'm starting with the wet on wet technique, which is one of my favorite ways to watercolor. First, I apply clean water directly to each petal. This helps the color flow smoothly and softly. Next, I add wilted violet to the petals, letting the ink naturally move across the surface. I love how organic this looks. No two petals ever turn out the same. Please don't worry about perfection here. Watercoloring is forgiving, and the beauty is in the variation. For a hint of pink, I blend Kitsch Flamingo with the Wilted Violet and apply that mixture to the center of the flower. You'll notice that the second two layers I only watercolored the embossed areas. My original plan was to adhere everything flat with liquid adhesive, but I later decided to add foam tape for more dimension. So once I made that change, I went back and watercolored the entire layer so no white cardstock would show between the raised pieces and everything would look more natural once assembled. Watercolor often lightens as it dries, so you may find you love the result just as it is, or you can always go back in and deepen a few areas. Once I'm happy and completed with the process, I use my heat tool to gently dry each layer. I will now add foam tape to the back of each layer and adhere them together. Adding dimension to my projects is one of my favorite techniques. This step really brings the flower to life. By adding the foam tape, it creates soft shadows and gives the petals depth and dimension. Once assembled, you can really see how the watercoloring shines through the layers. Here's a fun tip. If you want even more dimension, try slightly curling the petals with your fingers before adhering. Next, it's time for me to move on to the leaves using the same wet on wet technique. I'm using Twisted Citron and Mowed Lawn. I'll start by applying water to each leaf, just as I did with the flower layers. And then I'll apply Twisted Citron as my base color. While the surface is still wet, and once I'm done applying Twisted Citron to each layer, I'll then bring in Mowed Lawn to deepen the color and add variation. Here's another fun tip. By adding a second slightly darker shade while the surface is still wet, helps create depth and keeps the leaves from looking flat. And as you see, I'm only applying the darker color towards the base or the veins of the leaf for a more natural look. If you have a slightly darker color green, darker than Mowed Lawn, you can also apply that as well to the center vein of the leaf to create even more depth and give it an even more natural look. This next step is optional, but for a subtle touch of sparkle, I love adding sparkle to my projects. I spritz the leaves lightly with Distress Spritz Mode Lawn. I will now apply heat with my heat tool. And here are the final results of the leaves. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And I love the shimmer. The camera really isn't serving it justice, but the shimmer on the leaves are just stunning. Now let's move on to the background. I emboss Spellbinder's alabaster cardstock using Honeybee Stamp's burlap embossing folder. This is one of my favorite embossing folders. This will add soft texture, and I believe it will complement the watercolor florals perfectly. Next, I bring in tumbled glass Distress Oxide. I smush the ink onto my work surface, and then I spritzed it with water. I'll then use a sheet of acetate to lift the ink mixture and gently press the acetate onto the embossed panel, letting the color settle into the texture. Once I'm done with this process, I'll apply heat with my heat tool. And here's the final result of the panel. I love how it turned out. Now it's time for the next step. Next, I'm bringing in the Woven Lattice Texture die set from Spellbinders, and I die cut using the wheat cardstock from Spellbinders. For the sentiment, I die cut the word hello using an Altenew die. This is the Timeless Sentiments die set that's filled with so many fun sentiments. I cut the sentiment from black glossy cardstock from scrapbook.com. Now it's time for the fun part, assembling the project. This is where everything really comes together. This part is one of my favorites because you get to see all of your hard work turn into a finished design. I have a process I like to call thought to paper. It simply means taking the design I envision and using the elements to bring that idea to life on the card. I like to lay everything out and play with the placement, moving the pieces around, adjusting the angles, and testing different arrangements until it feels just right before I adhere everything down. I encourage you to don't rush this step. Giving yourself permission to explore and experiment helps your project come together more naturally. I'll start by positioning and adhering the lattice die cut to the panel first. Once it's secured, I trim away any excess hanging over the edges using my scissors. This will give a clean, custom fit and keeps everything perfectly aligned with the panel. Adhering your die cut first and trimming after helps prevent gaps or uneven edges, especially with detailed dies like this one. I then adhered the leaves and then the flower. For the sentiment, I added foam tape to the back to give it the same level of dimension as the flower. Raising the sentiment helps it feel intentional and keeps it from getting lost among the layers. After everything is adhered, I attach the completed card front to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch top folding card base. And just like that, this card is finished. I love how all of the elements came together with this project. The soft watercolor, the added texture, the dimension, it really brings this design to life. This is one of those projects that reminds me how much joy there is in taking a simple idea and watching it unfold on paper. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this project inspires you to give watercoloring a try. Whether you're using ink pads, reinkers, or markers, this is such a fun way to explore color and creativity. If you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'd also love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments if you try this technique and what colors you'd love to experiment with next. Thanks again for crafting along with me and happy creating. Until next time, please take care.